More!
Lunch break!
What's up, guys? We actually made it happen. Josh is at Wong Fu finally.
Finally! After so long. It feels good to be back.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. JK was a stepping stone.
It was a stepping stone, but now it's just...
He's reached his full potential.
Yeah. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Lunch Break. Today we got Josh from JK and we got Kenson from Wong Fu. Kenson used to work at Wong Fu and he did some amazing things for us. A lot of the visual effects, a lot of the music that you love as well. Just all around very talented guy. So you can eat.
Oh, we eat?
You're allowed to eat.
Wow.
To drink. We got Bopa Mofo here.
Really?
Oh shoot!
Oh my
I should have used the lid. We're also coming to you guys on a podcast.
I'm on a podcast.
You're on a
Wow.
podcast. So, what's your first impression of Wong Fu? Actually, you've already been on Wong Fu before.
I've already been.
Right?
Yeah, numerous times.
Numerous times, but this is the first time on lunch break. There's like a run-on joke of like Josh on JK and then Josh on Wong Fu, but we're clearly better, right? Yeah. How did that even start, actually?
So basically, me and a couple of the other editors, we were at, I think, the 606 night market when a fan came up and they said, "Oh my God, Josh, you're from Wong Fu."
Oh.
And then
I
I think because she was so happy and energetic, we all looked at each other like, I don't know if we should correct her because we don't want to call her out in front of her friends.
Oh, that's so
so we
funny.
just kind of rolled with it, and it just became a thing to this day.
That's pretty funny.
Well, recently we had Wong Fu at JK.
Yeah.
You know, you guys were on JK Party. I've been there a couple times too. JK News. Best episodes are the ones with me on it, clearly. No, we got love for JK. Everyone wants us to beef. I think because we're such different types of channels.
Very different.
But
Oh, you can see that. You can see that in the edits.
Well, yeah. Well, they're lucky because they have you. You know, I'm just gonna call it out. They have diversity.
Yeah, Phil.
Diversity wins.
Diversity.
But here's the thing, though. I mean, and people in the comments say it all the time. They call you the token.
Yeah, it's
Not-
always been a thing, but
Does that bug you being called that?
I mean, no, not really. I guess.
There's a little quiver in his voice.
It's a little
Wait,
quiver.
so they do call you the token?
They say the token black guy, and I'm like, that's
Is that problematic to say?
I feel like that's a little bit problematic to say because then I feel like the first thing that's looked at is color versus just like the actual person. in a sense.
Right.
Yeah.
The truth is that you are the only black guy
Right.
in the
Asian
group,
community.
in this Asian company, I
Yes.
guess, or a group of.
Well, I mean, there's like Hispanic.
That's
There's
true.
Hispanics, but
JK is definitely, and the thing we've talked about this before. It's not like Wong Fu's trying to keep people out. It's just that no one applies to us. That is not. But yeah, that word token is definitely something that I think a lot of people have had different experiences with that word. Like, I mean, Chris, you said you felt like a token before, right?
Yeah, actually, I didn't even know the concept of tokenism until I like moved out to LA and was part of Wong Fu.
Wait, really?
Yeah, because I mean, growing up, like you're the token, but no one even talks about it.
So you were the token.
I was a token.
How so?
So I went to a predominantly like Jewish school, where I grew up like around a lot of white people. Me and one other kid was the only East Asian student for like many years, and then there'd be like one like Indian or Pakistani, but
I
like,
can't imagine that.
but everybody else was probably Jewish or like just white.
How was it for you?
I went to a K through 12 school. It was a private school. And up until like high school, it was mostly just white people.
Really? So
Yeah.
did you ever feel like you were a token?
I felt like I had to be the example.
Oh.
Like I had to bring my culture to people because people would always ask like, "Oh, how do you say this in Asian?" or something really silly.
Oh my God, that's
I
so
relate to that.
That's so bad.
Just like say one thing in like this.
just say it, man. Just say it.
It's like, what do you want me to say? Anything. Oh, cup of tea.
Oh my God.
And it just becomes a running thing again and again
And,
and again.
and like they wouldn't know if I don't know. Like so I could just say ni hao.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it's be like, oh my God.
See,
So cool.
On my side, so my school was still like generally white, but we had like a 15% Asian population, and I hung out with the Asians. So what's funny is that we had a token white guy.
In your group.
And the thing is, I never really thought about it. I was just like, oh, like, I mean, because to me, the world or America is white. So it's like, oh, cool. It's just, it makes sense for a white guy to be in our group, and we were the Asian group, I guess. But I guess, yeah, like now that I think about it, he was our token white guy, And yeah, but he was comfortable around us, and it's not like we ever really thought about it. I guess, like, were you always the token, or did it only start with JK?
Basically, I'm actually from the East Coast, so
Okay. What part?
Oh.
South Carolina.
Nice.
Yeah, so like the southern part of it. So I moved out here with family, and yeah, I was the only African American student in Asian/Mexican community. In South Carolina, there is predominantly white and black. Yeah. So, but the only time I actually saw like anyone of like an Asian descent was usually just like through cartoons actually. And that was it. So when I moved out here, it was like a big culture shock because then I saw people of like different races, different skin colors. Like the first time I saw someone that was like just like of like a Hispanic culture,
Hispanic, yeah.
I originally thought he was black.
Oh.
Because then, no, because then I didn't know. Because then
wow.
I didn't.
Dang.
Yeah, it was like I was completely cut off from. Well, my community was
Yeah.
completely cut off from like any of that
Yeah,
type
yeah,
of
yeah,
culture.
the diversity.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Actually, my school only had like 5 black kids too. I
Yeah.
feel like saying this, I feel really like sheltered.
Elitist?
Or yeah.
We had
Or
one.
whatever. Yeah.
I mean, like, but part of being the token, it actually made me feel ashamed of, because I wasn't cool. I was that person used as a prop. And like I couldn't relate to people. People kind of, I mean, school is always very cliquish. So like, I obviously didn't fit in pretty much any clique. But yeah, it just made me feel like I was like, why am I going to Chinese school? Or like, why did my parents talk to me in a different language? Like, why can't I just be, you know, quote unquote American?
Right.
That was definitely hard growing up. I don't know.
So yeah, that's why I am very open to say that I feel very lucky and to a certain level, like privileged that I never felt ashamed to be Asian. I know a lot of Asian people grow up in this country or other countries feeling that identity crisis. And yeah, I've always had cool Asian people to look up to, you know, men and women. I've had role models in school. I had the coolest people. Yes, they were the popular crowd, but there were Asians that I were like, dude, those guys are so cool. You know,
Wow.
like, and yeah, like I never felt romantically like, you know, at a disadvantage.
Discriminated.
Yeah, because of that either. So, and I know that's unique and many people have that opposite feeling. So I'm glad that I didn't have those types of experiences, but I definitely empathize with people that do now, you know. Did you feel that same way growing up too?
Well, during high school, there was a couple more Asians.
Yeah.
And then there were also a bunch of like more international students because they could only go to public school for 1 year. So that was a little strange too. And then my family we went to church, and that was like a Chinese church. So like every week we would see.
Oh, so
all
that was where
Asians.
you saw your representation?
Yeah.
You're like, wow, Asian people are so
Asian
wholesome.
Did you ever feel pressured?
To
Because then,
like,
you were considered like the token of.
I think I felt pressured to be a good example, maybe like, oh, I hope I'm representing my culture right.
Actually,
That's
like,
the only thing.
I would flip that on you then. Being at JK or whatever, do you feel like, oh my God, I'm supposed to represent all black people? You know, like, or do you not feel that?
It's not like care as much. It's just I feel like the moment I'm caught in my head like way too often that won't really transfer over well on camera. So then if I'm thinking, oh my God, there's so much pressure just to like for me to represent, for me to say the right thing, for me to do this and that, from there's like no really authenticity. If it's for me to appear on camera and people are just like, oh my God, he's not representing us right, well, then like my next question is, how have you represented like yourself or your race right, correct? I think with social media, like it just becomes more of like oh, you need to represent us, but the thing is you need to focus on yourself and then grow your community and vice versa.
I mean, just to kind of back up a little bit, you know, your situations for having to be the token was kind of just where you grew up and you kind of just happened to be in these schools. But you moved out here, I guess, if I can be very blunt, how do you feel like you ended up in this community?
Well, I think the main thing that drew me to the community was just me and my friends liked anime at the time, so we eventually just started talking about anime and just kung fu films. Yeah.
Who exposed that to you for the first time?
Well, I think I exposed myself to that for the first time because then I'd watch a lot of shows like Toonami, Kung Fu Hustle, and all those.
Toonami is the gateway
Yeah.
for American kids. Did you feel growing up that like people thought that you were different for watching that? Like,
I feel like when I viewed anime, I didn't really view it as just like an Asian.
oh,
Yeah, I didn't see it as just like completely like Asian driven. I just saw it as like an art form, and then I just kind of.
I didn't think of that like whenever
Really?
I think about anime. Well, now, because like the people around me are saying like, oh, it is a thing.
I guess I always thought anime was very much an Asian thing because where I grew up, if I wanted to go get like posters or the trading cards, you know what I'm talking about, right? I had to go to like the Asian cities or like the Asian communities to like go to like those shops and stuff. And I'm like, okay, this is clearly I'm going to an Asian enclave
Oh, okay.
to
We
get the
didn't
Asian
really
food.
have that because we only had Chinatowns.
Right.
Well, I think we had to like go up to Canada from Seattle, and that was like New Hong Kong City and all
my
that.
God.
There's a lot of Asian stuff. We didn't even have like
You had to go to another country to get your anime contraband.
kind of. That's where we would go to the stores and buy all the
Yeah.
VCDs and the
But
stuff.
see, but that's the thing that you knew, you felt it was an Asian thing though.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You had to go to another country to get like look
Back
at these
then,
privileged
back
kids
then.
now. They just go down the street, go online. We had to go to other countries.
Because like growing up, I thought anime was just anime culture. Like I didn't associate Asian or Asianism or Pan-Asian
Yeah.
stuff to it.
Okay, so then that makes me ask, when you realize that this was a predominantly Asian community, were you like, uh-oh, like I didn't enter it thinking this, but now people are gonna think like I'm like trying to get in on this, you know?
I think for me personally, when I was growing up, I think it was like more of like a Western culture, like where it became a thing. Because a lot of kids from like the East Coast, like a lot of like my friends, like I grew up in like in the Black community, and they watch anime too.
What?
They watch Digimon, Pokemon, like all that different jazz. Just so when they came over here, then that's when it became more of like, oh, you're watching anime. Oh, are you like trying to be Asian? I see you like drawing all this stuff. And inside my head, I'm thinking, what? No, that doesn't make any sense.
Do you feel like so it's kind of unfair that you're being judged that way?
Yeah, I felt like it was unfair, but I think as time went on and as time progressed, more and more people accepted it.
So this kind of goes into like the next topic a little bit, where non-Asian people that are participating in generally Asian American cultural things, for example, like let's say anime, I guess like K-pop. So there are these like words, right? These like names that people give, like
Phrases.
Like
Yeah.
I'm just gonna I don't know if they're like offensive or not, like, but like yeah, like Weeaboos, Koreaboos. Are you offended by that? Would you be offended by that?
It really just depends on who's saying it and who it's being said to. Because for me personally, I feel like saying that, like, oh, you're like a weeaboo or like you're a weeb, I don't think that's bad.
It's like we just poke fun.
Yeah, you're just like, it's like a small light jab.
I guess if you go up to a stranger and
Yeah.
call them a weeb, then it's a little different.
I mean, maybe
For no reason.
What do you think you're doing?
Get out of here, you weeb!
with a weeb. But I think-
what is a weeaboo?
Kenson.
How did the term even? Yeah, what is it?
Kenson, I feel like you're like.
Is it just
There's an
anime?
internet article on this. I don't know.
To me, when I think of like anime, knowledge, I always think Kenson. Kenson knows everything.
Now I feel the pressure to be the token.
Yeah, you're the token.
guy.
You're the token anime. From.
I can't. It's an internet meme. I think it's just basically anybody who's not Japanese who's trying to be Japanese.
Oh, so it's just
I'm a weeb because I'm not Japanese, and if I consume anime, but I won't be like.
If you're trying to be Japanese and you're like saying, trying to speak Japanese,
can you imagine that?
I mean, we do that to poke fun.
そうですね.
Nani desu ka?
Ew, God, you're such a weeb.
I'm sorry.
Wait, but okay. So the reason why I ask this is because, like, do you feel that there actually is a portion of the anime community that actually is very like against like why are non-Asians here, and do you think people are like that?
I think their thought has crossed a lot of people's minds, but I think it's also been changed. I think that was more prominent back then, maybe. But now I feel like, at least in the communities that I'm in, everybody's pretty open-minded because I think even if they're not Asian, they're very interested in Asian culture, so they'll actually take the time and try to understand certain aspects.
I think it's only problematic, if it's just like casual and they're either doing it
Yeah,
as a
yeah.
costume or they're like making fun of it, but if they actually have a genuine interest, it's like, why?
They do. They ask questions
judge them,
and they try to learn things, and you actually learn things from them that you didn't even know about your own culture sometimes.
I kind of see it as like when I was growing up, I consumed other cultures' products and things like that. Like I love hip hop and R&B, and I would go to I would go to like hip hop concerts and like I would literally be like the only Asian. I'm like, oh, I wonder if people are looking at me. Like, what is this Asian kid doing here? Is he trying to be black?
Yeah.
But then it's like, no, I actually really just like the music. I like how it makes me feel. I like it. I can dance and everything like that. I would never judge someone else for wanting to try to be part of, or consume our culture stuff, I guess.
I don't think we had anything that was really considered like cool that like there was no icon or no like topic or a thing that was like, oh, that's cool to be Asian. You
Right.
know?
You know, it's even weird to say like that anime is like Asian American culture because no, it's an import, right? Even K-pop is an
Specifically
import.
Japan.
Right. And it's because, you know, Asians in America still are relatively new as a large group. And so we haven't established what is our culture just yet, you know? And so it is like we do have to rely on what's imported here. You know, I think the point of us making progress in mainstream is to have other people enjoy our stuff and appreciate our stuff, right? If we're always just like, no, this is ours, then yeah, we're never going to be, you know, accepted by the mainstream, right? All right, well, I think this was a really interesting conversation. I really appreciate the openness and honesty. It's always weird talking about like race stuff, you know? Yeah. I think it's good for open-minded about things, you know, so thanks for, you know, sharing. Check out Josh on JK News and on Wong Fu Productions. Are there more episodes of JK Party and Wong Fu?
Yes, they'll be coming out.
Coming out.
And we'll have you guys back.
Sounds
real
good.
soon.
And then also follow Kenson and all his amazing artwork and projects. All the links below. We'll see you guys next Thursday. Bye.
See ya.
See ya.